Hello, everybody. Okay, so tonight we're going to start reviewing for our language arts end of quarter test. So remember, you don't have to write anything down for this, okay? Nothing. You don't even have to do a seesaw afterward, okay? All it is tonight is watching a video, okay? So if you want to write down what I write down, feel free to, but you don't have to, okay? But I am going to get started. So this is our review. So remember we talked about in the beginning of the school year, we talked about types of sentences, okay? And we talked about 4 types of sentences. We talked about these guys right here. What do these stand for? What does that S stand for? Remember, we do this on our Letterland test, right? So what does S stand for? Statement. Oops, turned the eraser on. A statement. And what is a statement? A statement is a telling sentence, right? So I'm telling you information. I'm not telling you with like the most excitement in the world. And I'm not telling you to do something. I'm just telling you, hey, I like sharks. Or, hey, we go to morning meeting every day. Or, hey, it's raining outside. All of those things are statements. I'm just telling you information. And a lot of sentences are statements, okay? Our next one, and what do statements usually end in? Actually, what do statements always end in? A period. So I'm going to do a little period and circle it. Okay. Our next little guy that we're going to see starts with a C. What is the type of sentence you know that starts with a C? Think about it. What is it? A command. A command. And what is a command? How is it different from a statement? I want you to think about that for a second. How is it different from a statement? Well, a command is telling someone, so just like a statement, but it's not telling you information. It's telling you to do something, right? So if I'm telling you, hey, please clean up your area, or wash your hands before lunch, or put your coat on, it's raining outside, all of those would be commands because I'm telling you to do someone. Even if I say please, I'm still telling you to do it, right? Please get your homework out. So there's a clear verb that I'm telling you to do. Get your homework out. Wash your hands. Clean up your area, right? Those are all verbs that are telling somebody to do something, okay? And what do commands end in? They could technically end in a period or what? An exclamation point, okay? Or an exclamation point. All right, our next guy is what starts with a Q? A question, right? A question. A question is a what type of sentence? What is it doing? That type of sentence is asking someone a question, right? It's asking someone something. So first of all, what a question mark? Questions, I just gave you the answer. What do questions end in? Question marks, right? Ends in a question mark. What kind of words would I see at the beginning of a question? Because I have certain question words that I see, right? Like who, or what, or how, or why, or will, or can. So all of those are saying, can you do it? Will you do it? Who is this person? What are you doing? Where are you going? All of those are question words, okay? And our last type of sentence is an starts with an E. What is it? Exclamation. Exclamation. Okay, exclamation. And what does an exclamation end in? Think about it. An exclamation point, right? Just like that. And exclamations are also telling sentences, but how are they different from statements? Can you remember? How are they different? They tell someone something with a lot of excitement, like, I won the football game, or no school today, there's snow, or I got 100 on my test. Do you see how I'm really excited about everything? Or I could say, what could I say? I lost my favorite toy car. I'm not really like excited about that, but I'm like really strongly feeling really upset about it, right? So any strong feeling, or if somebody was being really unkind and they say, hey, give that back to me, they're really angry, right? They're saying to give it back with a lot of a lot of anger, right? So that would be an exclamation, okay? And if you see words like hey or wow or woohoo or yay, those are all exclamations, okay? All right, what am I doing with my mouse? I just need this guy right here. Okay, next thing we're going to talk about is parts of speech. So we have 3 parts of speech that we've talked about so far. We've talked about nouns. How am I going to do this? Verbs. And then we'll talk about adjectives in 1 second. But let's talk about nouns and verbs first, okay? Nouns and verbs, nouns and verbs, nouns and verbs. Nouns are what? Person, do it with me, person, place, thing, or idea, right? So think of an example of a person. I could say girl, I could say man, I could say police officer, I could say teacher, I could say mom, I could say grandma, I could say, who could I say? Charlie, I could say Charlie, I'm gonna say Charlie. Charlie would be an example of a person, right? And it's actually not just a noun, it's a proper noun, right? Because it's a specific person. What about a place? Think about a place that you can go to. What about the playground? Playground's just a common noun, so I'm just not going to capitalize it. Playground. Okay? And then a thing. Give me a thing. How about mask? No, that's too, we don't want to talk about those. Let's talk about remote. That's a thing, right? Remote. And then what about an idea? Think about like a feeling, but it's not like describing your feeling, it's the feeling itself. So like happiness, sadness, anger, excitement. Okay, so let's do excitement. Excitement, okay? Excitement. Now, if I said exciting, that would be a describing word. So it's a little tricky with the ideas and the feelings, but that's okay. Verbs. Verbs are action words, right? So think about an action that you could do. I could learn. I could camp. I could write. All of those are action words, right? Okay. And then finally, let's talk about adjectives. Adjectives. Adjectives are what? Adjectives are, I think, the ones that y'all struggle with the most because it's not as clear, right? There's so many adjectives. Nouns, it's like person, place, thing, idea. Got it. Verbs, actions. Got it. Adjectives do what? Adjectives describe nouns, right? So think about something that describes something else. I could describe how it looks, how it tastes, how it acts, how it feels. Like happy would be the adjective, okay? Sad would be the adjective. I could talk about the color, brown hair. Hair would be the noun, brown is the adjective. So I could say red. Red is an adjective. Remember, numbers are adjectives. So I could say 11 because that's describing how many. On that note, I could also say a lot. That's an adjective because actually, let's say many. Not a lot. Many. I have many apples. That's describing how many apples I have, how much I have, okay? And then what about, I could do color, I could do numbers, I could do how much or how many. I could also do texture, so it feels soft, right? Soft. Or I could describe how someone's feeling, hungry, right? I could describe lots of things, okay? So that's all we're going to talk about today. We'll talk about the rest tomorrow. Remember, no seesaw activity, nothing to write down unless you wanted to. Okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow.